Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Thursday the 14th of July 2022. Now we're going to start off today's video with something not directly Millwall related but will affect a lot of Millwall fans on the 30th of July, the first game of the season, home to Stoke City, and it's a train strike. A train strike on Saturday the 30th of July. What's all that about? So this is from railnews.co.uk. ASLEF announces strikes at 8 train operators. ASLEF members at 8 train operators. I'm not going to go through them all. Southeastern, that's the one I'm letting you know about. Southeastern are set to stage a strike on the 30th of July. The union's General Secretary, Mick Whelan, said, "We want an increase in line with the cost of living. We want to be able to buy in 2022 what we could buy in 2021. For those members you will remember the people who moved key workers and goods around the country during the pandemic. We have not had a pay rise since 2019. It's not unreasonable to ask your employer to make sure you're not worse off for a third successive year, especially as the train companies are doing very nicely, thank you, out of Britain's railway, with handsome profits, dividends for shareholders, and big salaries for managers." The Department for Transport said it is very disappointing that rather than commit to serious dialogue with the industry, ASLEF are first seeking to cause further misery to passengers by joining others in disrupting the rail network. The date chosen by ASLEF will mean the travel will be disrupted in the West Midlands during the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, and it will also be disrupted up and down the country on the opening weekend or the opening Saturday of the English Football League season for the Championship, for League 1 and League 2. Bringing further misery to passengers, say the DOT, bringing misery to a lot of Millwall fans. Not just Millwall fans, other fans as well, but this is a Millwall channel, I'm letting you know. This is... You're gonna have to find a way to get to the Den and back again, not involving Southeastern trains. Now, it's just these... That's if you're mostly from the Southeast. I know there are other Millwall fans who come a lot further. Some I think are going to be okay, and it's just the ones you see on your screen there. Here, if you're listening, I'll read them out. Arriva Rail, Chiltern Railways, Greater Anglia, Great Western Railway, Hull Trains, LNER, Southeastern and West Midlands trains. So if you use any of them to get to the Den, if you got a season ticket, you got to find another way. You probably got to drive in if you're driving, if you can drive. Get a lift with someone else. Get a coach in. A National Express. If you are in the southeast London area, Thameslink trains may be running. Now, here's the thing: that will not directly affected by strike action cut a lot of their services, or even didn't run, because they knew that everyone would flow over to them and it would be chaos and bedlam, so they just shut down. Now here's the thing, I'll just share this with you. This is from southeasternrailway.co.uk. Industrial action, travel advice and booking information. Industrial action is due to take place on our network by the RMT Union, that's on Wednesday the 27th of July, and the ASLEF Union on Saturday the 30th of July. Now, I believe that the RMT is the bigger of the unions, so that will be the worst one, Wednesday the 27th. The ASLEF union, I think, is a bit smaller, and that's on Saturday. We're working hard to understand the level of service we can run on these dates. So what can they run? We don't know. Now, here's the thing. It is on a Saturday, but because it's a strike, I don't know what the reason is. I think they would just... I think it's because they would literally piss them off. I don't know if they're legally allowed to do. They can't run a replacement bus service. Now, if they announced emergency engineering works on a Saturday, they might be able to do it. I'm not sure how it works. But then, if you run emergency engineering works, who's going to do it? Because surely the blokes who work that and do all that stuff are members of the union as well. So they'll probably you're going to start up emergency engineering works to get around it, so you can put a replacement bus service on, and then they are not going to do the work. But yeah, so any of you have bought a season ticket and you usually travelling by train, you might be a bit fucked. It's, like I said, find someone you can get a lift with. I think on that Saturday, Southern trains might be running pretty decently. Thameslink might be running, and they go all the way down to Orpington, is it now? Sevenoaks, and that goes through. What does that go through? That goes through Peckham Rye, Nunhead, Elephant and Castle. So that'll get you into the nearby area, and then you've just got to use a bus or walk for the rest of the way. We hope. We don't know how bad it's going to be. Now here's the thing. This is absolute stupidity from the ASLEF union to do it on this day. They are going to piss off. They are shooting themselves in the foot. They are going to piss off so many working class people who would probably support what they're trying to say here. You heard what he said in the thing. They had an pay rise in 2019, and they want their pay rise to match up with inflation, because if it doesn't, then it's effectively a pay cut, which is true. That's a fair point. But one thing that gets bandied about in the press a lot is the notion of, oh, it's the train drivers, and the train drivers are on 70k a year, 50k a year, whatever, 60k a year. But it's not just the train drivers, it's the cleaners, the station staff, ticket people, all that stuff. All of them as well. They're not on 70k a year. So they're already losing that battle there, the PR battle about, oh, the train drivers want more money, they're on 70k a year. That's the public perception. They are now going to fuck off so many working class football fans on the opening day of the season. This is madness from them. Now here's the thing. I understand some Mill fans might be members of the union. They may have voted for it. And fair enough, I understand your point. You're having a pay rise for a couple of years and you want it to match inflation. But, and I understand you probably just vote yes or no. You don't pick the date. But you need to tell your union, whoever's deciding on this date, that this is a piss take. They're shooting themselves in the foot with this date. They are going to lose whatever support they have amongst the public is going to go away. Here's the thing as well. Like the IMT one's on a Wednesday. So what does that mean? Well, if you're working Joe, your boss might tell you don't bother coming in on a Wednesday because of the strike. Take the day off. You can make it up the next day or the day before, or come in later, or work from home if you're an office bod. You can do that, and that's great. If you're working Joe and your boss tells you not to bother coming in because of the strike, absolutely sweet. You get a day off work. You love it. Yeah, let's have more strikes. If they strike on a Saturday, on a weekend, and it doesn't affect your job, you don't get a day off work. In fact, when you have a day off work, you are going to go to the football, and you now cannot. How's that going to make you feel? You're not going to be happy, are you? You really aren't. So the ASLEF union, whoever's decided this date, is an absolute clown, and you might want to find out who it was and vote them out when they have the next little assembly or whatever, NSC meeting, whatever, AGM, EGM, PGM, whatever. Because this is a joke. This is an absolute fucking joke. Anyway, let's move on, because we don't want to talk about trains all day. This is a Mill channel, not a Charlton channel. Well, there's a game tomorrow night. Millwall going up to Colchester United in a pre-season friendly. It's a kickoff of 7:30, and don't forget, it is on Mill TV. Now, here's the thing: if you are going to that game, you have a very special treat in store for you. And what will that be? Well, this is from millwfc.co.uk. Mill will travel to Colchester United in a pre-season friendly on Friday night, kick-off 7:30 p.m. The Lions are back in action following Tuesday's double-header in which Garrow outside claimed victories over Bromley and Dartford. against the U's at the JobServe Community Stadium. The manager will take the full squad to Essex, including Zian Flemming, whose work permit request has been approved. Yay! Supporters who attended Prince's Park in midweek were able to catch a first glimpse of Charlie Cresswell and George Honeyman alongside Benica Phoebe, and both may play some part once a game. So yeah, if this seems to be the first chance to see Zian Flemming in person playing in a Millwall shirt, pre-season friendly tomorrow. Now, if you cannot make it to Colchester, then supporters can stream the fixture on Millwall TV, provided by Colchester United and with full match commentary from BBC Essex. You click here for more details. It's basically £5, and you need to set up a Millwall profile. You need to click on the match thing, match day info. Go to that, and then it'll let you buy a match pass or something, and then you're good to go for 7:30 tomorrow. So there you go. Now let's get into now I told you in yesterday's video about the point system that exists now in terms of foreign players coming into British football, English football. I'm not too sure. It's 15 points. You need to get 15 points, and basically you can easily get to 15 points if you're an international player for the top 50 countries in the world and you played for the games in the last 12 months, and you get basically, it's called an auto pass. You get 15, you get automatically through. If you play in a top division, but you're not an international for the top 50 clubs in top 50 international teams in the world, but you play in a top division, that gives you a certain amount of points as well. I told you in yesterday's video, Zian Flemming, I guessed that he would probably have around 9 or 10 points, so he's short of the 15 that he needed to get an auto pass, so he had to apply for it and say, please sir, can I have a visa? So this is from londonnewsonline.co.uk. So there's a bit more about what happened here. Zian Flemming cleared to play for Millwall at Colchester after visa approval. Millwall will be able to field Zian Flemming tomorrow night's friendly at Colchester United after the club record signing obtained his visa. The attacking midfielder had to play in a behind closed doors friendly win over Bromley on Tuesday rather than the evening's 2-0 victory at Dartford in front of 4,000 paying punters due to red tape. But Flemming has now been given a green light to feature for the Lions at the League 2 club. Millwall manager Gary Rowett, speaking to the South London press before Flemming was cleared to play at Colchester, said, I haven't been dealing with it, so I don't really know how the process works. I believe you can get a short-term visa while you're applying for a long-term visa. It's a case of he could train and be here, but not just play in official games until it is through. That's my belief, but I don't know the full ins and outs. He's done all the minutes so far and been able to play all the games we wanted him to so far. Colchester lost 4-2 to Charlton on Tuesday night. So I think Charlton are copying us because they played Dartford before we played them, and they beat Dartford 6-1, I believe it was, and they played Colchester Tuesday, when was that? Yesterday? No, a couple of days ago, and they beat them 4-2. So Charlton are copying us, or we're copying them. Yeah, it was 6-1. It's on the right hand side here. 6-1. Yeah, so we're playing the same teams. But they beat Dartford 6-1. We only won 2-0. Is that good or bad? Is that an omen for us or an omen for them? But we'll see what happens on tomorrow night. Do we get as many goals as that? Is it going to be 4-2? Is it going to be 0-0, 1-0, 2-0? Interesting to find out. And interesting to see if it will be a bit more solid lineup, or it will be a bit more a lot of subs still being used. I don't know. So there you go. That's more about what Zian Flemming is up to. For some reason, I don't know why. You can get a short-term visa, but then I imagine, here's the thing, I imagine they didn't want him to play for Millwall unless he got his proper visa, because if the visa was rejected, he would have to leave and go to another club, and then that would limit his options in terms of how many clubs you can play for in a calendar year. That might be the thing. So they give you a short-term visa to come in and train and shit like that. I don't know, but he's back. He's back tomorrow. He's got his visa. I assume he'll be starting against Colchester, and we'll see how he gets on. Hopefully, he doesn't get injured. So what's happening now? News at den.co.uk. Gary Rowett on loan move for Millwall youngsters. Gary Rowett was not ruled out keeping Millwall's young players with the senior squad for the upcoming campaign. The Lions have given a number of youngsters the opportunity to play for the first team in the pre-season, including Bisart Topolodge, who featured against Crystal Palace and Dartford in the last few days. It remains to be seen as to whether or not these players' short-term futures lie at Millwall, or whether a loan move may be a more suitable move to guarantee them extra game time. Isaac Alofi and Alex Mitchell both thrived in League Two last season for Sutton United and Leyton Orient respectively, and the club have a number of positive relationships with sides at the lower end of the football pyramid that they could utilise. However, Rowett told News at Den that he would like to keep the younger players at Millwall for pre-season before deciding whether they should be sent out on loan later in the transfer window. For all of those young players, we're looking at the quickest way to get them in the first team, Rowett explained. At the end of pre-season, it will be a better chance to judge that. We wanted to give those players like Bez, Tanto, Hayden, Alex Mitchell, not so much Tyler, the opportunity to be around pre-season to see how they fare. We'll make a decision. If we don't think that they're going to play a lot of minutes with the first team, then the sensible thing is to continue their development by playing games. Young players need games. It's okay having them around and playing them for 4 or 5 games here and there, but it doesn't help. Or 40 games at a level that keeps improving, or they come back and they're actually getting a chance to be in our team. We'll have a debate about that, and we'll try and make the best decision possible for those players. Indeed, the only player we know who's gone out on loan so far is Joe Wright, and he went to Bath City. I was struggling to remember who he went. It was Bath City, I believe. He's on loan at Bath City for the season, so that's the only one out so far. So we're going to finish with this. This is from news@den.co.uk as well. Millwall captain Keane's help new signing settle in. Shaun Hutchinson knows exactly what it's like to start out at Millwall. The centre-back moved to the Den back in June 2016 after being released by London rivals Fulham. Now he's stepped up to become captain of the club ahead of his 7th season in Bermondsey. It's been great. I've enjoyed my time here. Ever since I walked through the door, I've loved it, he told News at Den. It's a club that's been good to me and I've always felt comfortable, so I've never really needed to look elsewhere. The 31-year-old has seen a number of players come and go over the years, but admits that he's been impressed by the Lions transfer business this summer. Zian Flemming joined for a club record fee at the end of June, with George Honeyman and Ben Kofobi signing permanent deals soon after. I think their intentions were from the start that they wanted to try and improve the squad from last year, Hutchinson explained. Obviously there's a lot of players that have left, a few maybe that weren't necessarily playing anyway. It's going to be a tough battle to stay in the team this year, that's for sure. That might be the case for Leeds United loanee Charlie Cresswell more than anyone. The 19-year-old will be tasked with breaking into one of the best defences in the Championship and filling the void left by Daniel Ballard, who impressed in his spell at Millwall last season. Hutchinson understands that this may be a daunting prospect for the young centre-back, but believes that it will soon adjust to how the Lions want to play. Me, Murray and Coops have played with each other many times, and we know each other inside out, and there's not much that would surprise us. Dan came in last year and did well. Obviously Charlie has just come through the door. He's a young guy, but I'm sure he'll pick up a lot of things over time. Maybe he'll see what it's like to play for Millwall, because I think it's a little bit different to other clubs. People expect that you'll just come in and play the same way, where Millwall requires certain character. I'm sure he'll be a great addition to us once he's settled into the squad. Indeed, well said, Shaun, well said. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.